Right before I hopped onto this call, I texted my parents because we used to go to the 199 store when we were kids. It's such a core memory for a lot
Mm.
of Singaporeans. I want to just start there first.
I mean, most people come up and says, I remember the 199, and they say, oh, the things are cheap at upmarket location. You first brought it here, but you said that triggers some memories.
Yeah,
So I love that. That was touching because I never thought about it. I guess when I was running the business, you were little. You're still very young, right? Yay! But I love the fact that you kind of say that memory. So I love that.
I don't believe the world is set up for women to succeed. And especially a beautiful woman at a young age, for you to be an entrepreneur, I'm sure you were mocked by people saying that, here comes the model trying to do the business thing. I just want to sort of applaud you for being resilient all the way through. No,
I think you were very sensitive, I guess, to these issues. It was not as easy. Yeah, it was not as easy, but you decide from day one if it's easy or hard. If you think everything is so hard, I mean, then our paths just become smaller and smaller and lesser and lesser.
yeah.
When you don't have everything and you come from a below average family, I felt maybe that would have been the best gift I could have given my children. Like, don't have everything, don't get your own stuff and go get your own thing. Because if you don't have things easily, that really makes you hungry and just make sacrifices and work hard.
You played a role with opening doors because even after 199 store didn't do well, once it reached its end, you didn't stop there either. It wasn't something you were ashamed about. You did press for it. You wrote books. You did seminars. You encouraged people. So there were female entrepreneurs, dreamers who went to your conferences, to your talks, and they learned from you. So that's the other thing that I also want to applaud you. You were not embarrassed. You didn't give in to shame. You were like, I'm owning what happened and I'm going to help other women out there. I just wanted to just highlight some of these things.
You are extremely sweet. I really feel your sincerity. Thank you.
When you got sort of the sole distributorship for SodaStream, I'm sure that was pressurizing as well, and there's a pun there as well. What was the entire process for your company to acquire something like this?
Talking to people at the HQ took about a year, because it's kind of like dating. Like, I'm not sure about you. You're not sure. So nobody really wanted to make that move, right? Will you marry me? I'm trying to know the brand. Is that a good fit? And they're trying to understand if I'm authentic. And so at that point, I did not have an office, no warehouse, no staff. And then they say, come, let's meet. I say, sure. It says, what plans do you have? I say, I don't write business plans. I said that because business plans are written by very intelligent people who have studied for many years, right? And I really don't have that study for many years. How do we know you could market SodaStream? So I took 3 of my children. Then they were, I think, they're about 10 years old, 11 or 8 years old. So I said, I'm going to give you $20 each person. Go make a video and tell me why people need to buy this machine. So I put a machine in front of them. So tell me why they need to use this. So they did. They are little, every little child at that age has an iPad and they make videos. So they did. So they all make a 1-2 minutes video why people need to buy a SodaStream. So I just showed these people, right? These big managers. And I said, this is how I would market SodaStream. So that was it. And it was my children, literally. Don't worry, people laugh at you. So what? The purest, the cutest are the thoughts from somebody who has no marketing experience, like my children.
almost like auditioning, similar to what your experience is as a model or an actress. You know, you go in there, but you're like, I'm not auditioning for the role, I'm auditioning for the person who's auditioning me. So I'm showing you who I am. I'm not someone who has a business plan or anything, but I know I can do this. How did you kind of figure out on your side whether or not Singapore would be a good fit for SodaStream? You know, because America loves their soda and everything. Asians, not necessarily so. All right. So how did you take that on, that cultural kind of like rift potentially?
Some people love it, like your family. Some people cannot live without it. I mean, we have a lot of expats customers, and they literally like, I don't know. I mean, I think they bathe in it or something. They exchange so much of the gas weekly, but it is a steep mountain. So maybe it is really the tenacity that I think the brand requires. I know people come on a radio show, they don't want to say the negative thing of their brand. It really takes work in Asia. For example, in Asia, people don't even try to drink cold water. They think cold water is bad. But it's not true. Like, I have relatives here, they're 90 years old and they drink cold water every day. And they're so strong, they walk, they exercise. I need to beat the culture. There's a lot of preconceived notion, right? I mean, Singaporeans love warm water, but warm fizzy water is not good.
Yeah, you gotta have it nice, ice and cold. But you know, like, I think the most important thing is options. It's always nice to have an option. Whether you think it's good or bad for your health or whatever, at least the option is there. There is cold water, there's cold fizzy water that can happen in the kitchen without you going to the store.
Just because you get the fizz without the damaging consequences of sugar, I think we're the best option. And it's been 1903, so like 120 years old brand. You know, it's safe, it's fun. Like you said, you put cocktail and do your mixes. No wastage, better for the environment. So it is a lot of work. Just continue doing same thing faithfully every day, persuading one family at a time.
To be able to grow up in your house and have a mother that can, if I ever feel imposter syndrome, if I ever feel like I can't make it, I have my mom who will be able to go to me and say, hey, y'all help me get this SodaStream deal, you know. Y'all were early marketers, y'all were early, entrepreneurs, you played a huge role. How do your children view you? Do they treat you as a superstar? As a boss?
So one year, perhaps they were in their early teens, they said, are you serious that you own 199? I think they read it somewhere. I wrote 3 books. I don't think they even read one of them, but are you sure? Yeah, I say, yeah, before you were born. And then they said, do you have to pay for things when you buy things? So it was just cute questions. Good business practices, integrity, how to run your business, I may have weaved it into daily conversation. But the truth is, I don't know what they think or how. Maybe it's something I'm scared to ask them.
They will never understand it until they're grown up, until they're much older. And then they understand, oh yeah, actually my dad is famous, But the most important thing is you raise them right. You raise them to be good children. And that's the most important thing, And finally, to the person listening to this interview, who went to one of your seminars, who went to one of your talks, to the person who wants to be an entrepreneur, what would you say to them?
What is stopping you?
Scared. They say scared. I'm very scared. The economy is scary. Everything is too expensive. Cannot be entrepreneur.
I think if we live 70 years, 80 years of our lives, it's okay to try to do something different for that 5% of your life. 5% out of a 80 years old person is what? 4 years. Give it a shot. It's just 4 years. It's just 5% of our life. So I think the greatest regret that one would have at the end of their lives is regret of not doing something that they really wanted to do.
There are a lot of interviews that can drain you. I hope this interview refreshes you. I hope this was like a reminder for you of who you are. Okay?
What you said, this first sentence was so sweet. You say it triggers like some emotion, like, oh, we used to go there.
Of course.
I never thought of it that way.
I literally texted my parents. We have a family group chat. And I say, Mom, remember we used to go together. And that's the reality for many of us who are millennials, who are my age. We were kids in the 90s. Our parents would have brought us to the store and said, choose whatever you want.
Yay!
Yeah. So you are the person behind that. You're the person behind that. So go celebrate yourself, okay? And when you're in
Okay.
Singapore, let me know. We will all go for a
Okay.
coffee and everything.
Yeah. Wait, can you take a picture?
Oh
Or
yes,
is
yes,
that
yes, yes. I forgot about that. Yes, yes, yes.
you send
Okay.
it later then?
Okay, I will. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.